Boardroom, a special Halloween edition for you on our show today. It's been a terrifying season for the Michigan football team, and they got scared last weekend in East Lansing. And nightmare on ice, what has the hockey team spooked early this season? And finally, trick or treat. The men's basketball team kicks off their season soon. Are they the real deal? And can Wizard Beeline concoct another potion to send this team deep into the tournament? Boo! The Boardroom is back. Simon Kaufman alongside Jason the Doctor Rubenstein and Max Boltman. Max, what even are you?
I want to be honest, Simon. I picked this up on the way here, and I didn't take a very close look at the mask. I thought I was going for Phantom of the Opera, and instead I'm just a man in a white mask.
You look nice. You look nice. Well, we'll get straight to something that's been really scary. We're talking football, and not like scary good, like scary bad. Really scary bad. Went into East Lansing last weekend and came away it was no good. It was no good. This team, bowl chances are just about done for. If you're the coaches, if you're the players, what are the goals at this point in the season?
Well, Brady Hoke and the coaching staff and the players, they'll tell you that it starts with beating Indiana this weekend and playing 1 week at a time. But for Michigan fans, it's got to be making this team watchable. It's simply unbearable to watch this team anymore. I mean, they've only had 10 passes over 25 yards this season through 8 games. That's just unacceptable, and no one wants to watch that.
Yeah, and it is possible to make a bowl at this point, if they rattle off 3 straight against Indiana, Northwestern, and Maryland. But even then, I don't think the season's saved. I think all your goals at this point are really to stay healthy and not have anyone get injured long-term going into the offseason.
All right, well, on to something a little less scary. The hockey team went to the East Coast last weekend and split games against UMass Lowell and Boston, but not the start that they are maybe used to in past years. If you're Coach Red Berenson, what sort of mask are you wearing at this point in the season?
I think I'm wearing like a Wizard's hat and maybe some robes. Red's got some tricks up his sleeve, and he could change up the lines. Maybe you can provide some insight on that, Jason. But there's plenty for this team still to do, and I think Berenson's got some tricks.
Well, you nailed it right on the head. I mean, Berenson this week already said that he's going to split up his top line that has J.T. Comfort and Andrew Kopp. Those are 2 of Michigan's best players. They tallied 60 points combined last year, and he actually moved Comfort from his usual position at center to right wing, and Comfort has looked lost there simply. But with this weekend against Michigan Tech, Comfort's going to go back to playing center, so the lines will be different.
This team kicks off Big Ten play in about 3 weeks, What does this team need to do between now and then to get at the level? Doctor, will take your diagnosis first.
Well, I don't think they've been playing at a bad level this season. I don't think they're spooked, if you will. They took a game from UMass Lowell, who was ranked 7th in the country at the time. They beat them 8-4. I mean, that was a huge win. They went to Boston, played Boston University, who was ranked lower than UMass Lowell. They lost, but there were maybe some questionable calls in the game, and they shut down the best player in the country, Jack Eichel, and that was an accomplishment in itself.
Yeah, I think before Big Ten play starts, the number one thing they need to look for is consistency. They've definitely shown the pieces. They put up 8 on UMass Lowell. Zach Hyman had a phenomenal game there with 5 points. But I still think there's some consistency issues that could be problematic if they don't get worked out before the Big Ten. You have Minnesota, who's always a powerhouse, and maybe a little bit of a down year for the conference as a whole, but it'd be nice to see Michigan iron out their mistakes and stay consistent.
All right, from the ice to the hardwood, Michigan men's basketball team hosted their media day today. Let the media stick around and watch a little bit of open practice. So we're going to look ahead to that season. We're going to play the old classic basketball analytical game, trick or treat. I'll ask a question. We'll get your thoughts on it. Tell me if it's legit, trick, or treat, or if it's not as legit, trick. So we'll start with Karis LeVert, Jr. returning, put up a big year last year. Is he going to be able to live up to the hype?
I'm going to go and say trick. I just don't see Karis being that guy. I mean, he athletically and defensively, he's elite. But offensively, he put up great numbers. But you have to take into consideration that he also had Nick Stauskas. He had Mitch McGarry last year. He had Zach Irvin, who was even shooting lights out last year. So he wasn't in the spotlight. So I don't see him in the spotlight. I don't see him making the shots like he did last year.
See, I was feeling a little unsure going into the day, but when we had the open practice today, oh my gosh, this guy is going to be a treat. He commands the floor. He's ready to shoulder the load on offense. Derek Walton making some progress too, but I'll tell you who's going to be a bigger treat is Zach Irvin. That guy looked good today.
Zach Irvin's a treat. Karis LeVert is a treat. You've earned yourself a treat. First piece of candy for you. All right, on to the second trick-or-treat question. This team lost McGarry, lost Robinson, lost Stauskas, and, Horford transfers, Jordan Morgan graduates. Are they going to lack leadership this year?
There's concerns. Beeline kind of addressed it today. He said there's no Zach Novaks, no one that's going to get in your face quite like Zach Novak did. But there's different kinds of leaders. I think there's a lot of leading by example. And one way that you see that is everyone today, from Max Bielfeld all the way down to Andrew Dockich, said, this team is cohesive. There's better chemistry now than they've had since they've been here. Maybe reinforced by the Italy trip. But, leadership, you can bypass a little bit if you got everyone clicking together like that.
Doctor, what say you?
I say trick. Simply put, under John Beeline, there's never going to be an issue of leadership. If he needs a guy to step up and be a leader on the team, he'll make that person a leader. I mean, today he said that there were 5 guys that he was looking at as the core leaders of this team, and I don't think any of them are going to go and try and have this power surge and ruin the chemistry of the team. So simply put, as long as John Beeline's at Michigan, they won't have leadership problems.
As long as Beeline's at the helm, you, sir, are the owner of some new candy. Finally, for all the Whoppers, been waiting to say that. Beeline, a lot of the rankings coming out, they have Michigan right around 23, 24. Will Beeline be able to have this team exceed expectations again this year?
It's hard to say, but I think he will. I think it's going to be a treat for Michigan fans again. They seem to outperform expectations every year, and it's hard to rely on that, but it seems like they've got the pieces to do it again.
I agree with Max, but I don't see under John Beeline how this team, won't have a trick up its sleeve. He simply had one every year. Darius Morris left, Trey Burke comes in. Trey Burke left, now we have Derek Walton, and it's Derek Walton's second year, so let's see what he can do.
All right, well, there you have it. Nobody gets the candy on that one. I'm going to keep this one for myself. We'll end it in a tie. Football continues to horrify. Don't need to be as worried about hockey, and a lot of treats in store for basketball. Fear not, we'll be back next week. Make sure to join us each week and read our content Monday through Friday in print and online every day at michigandaily.com. Cheers.